Welcome again to the Solid Signal Podcast for May 14th, 2013. This week, we're talking about Wi-Fi. I got a lot of opinions this week about Wi-Fi. You know, when you blog a lot, you get a lot of opinions, and that's a good thing. Now, this week I was told 2 different things about Wi-Fi. Actually, about 6 different things about Wi-Fi, and let me explain. I had a lot of people this week try to tell me that Wi-Fi was unnecessary. With LTE expansion coming all across the United States, having home Wi-Fi, in fact having home internet service at all, is just unnecessary. On the other hand, there were those who said, hey, LTE is unnecessary and it's way too expensive to replace Wi-Fi. I do have to agree with that last part. And then there's a contingent out there who just can't wait for that latest 802.11ac wireless standard that's going to make internet speeds, well, it's going to make internet speeds exactly the same as they are, which is the whole problem. And I'll explain that too. Here's where I stand on the subject. Wi-Fi is a very solid, mature, stable technology. We were all very excited about it in 05 and 06 when we got it, but the fact is that it really isn't that exciting now. No new technology, including 802.11ac, is going to change that. In fact, even Wireless N, the most recent standard, didn't actually make things any more profitable. People just upgraded when their old routers died, and they really didn't notice the speed increase. They just upgraded to the latest and greatest. In other words, people aren't paying a premium for the new technology. They're just waiting for their old technology to wear out and then upgrading. I expect this to be the exact same thing with wireless AC, or whatever they're going to call it. Some folks think they're going to call it 5G, which I think is a mistake. Anyway, when the price of a 802.11ac router gets down to $45, people are going to buy it, and that's the end of that. Now, talking briefly about whether or not LTE will replace Wi-Fi out there in the market, it's a great idea, but there's just one thing standing in the way, and that's the dreaded data cap. See, in most cases, you have no cap on your Wi-Fi home internet. There are a few companies that do put in data caps, but even so, they're really generous, like 200 gigabytes a month. Cell phone companies don't give you anywhere near that much data, and they charge you a lot more money. If we can ever get around to fixing that somehow, then I would recommend LTE as a permanent replacement for Wi-Fi, or whatever comes after LTE most likely. Now the problem is, in businesses for example, you really do want to use LTE if you want good speeds. For the most part, you've got 100 people sharing a 5 megabit line, and you tend to not get the speeds that you really want once you're out and about. And in a hotel, forget about it. So if Wi-Fi is a stable, mature product and there isn't a whole lot more to say about it, why am I wasting your time? I know you were just thinking it. I've recently become aware of some products that can be used to make Wi-Fi a little bit more exciting. Many of us have problems where our home Wi-Fi doesn't reach all over the home, and we don't know what to do about it. On the other hand, businesses struggle with where to put Wi-Fi and when. And that's another whole big problem. Luckily, as I said, I found some products that really make a difference here. They're called the Ubiquity line, and they're available at Solid Signal. I tend not to shill in these podcasts, but I have to say, I'm very impressed by what I saw here. It's not about the wireless standards. Let's be honest, Wireless G gives you plenty of bandwidth for everything that you're going to need, and most of us are already on Wireless N. Wireless AC is going to be 100 times faster than your internet connection. Who needs that? Really, what you need is a router and access point combination that are designed to give you maximum available range and control the amount of power that you use up to the amount allowable by law. That's the really cool thing. Designing your Wi-Fi network, whether it's for home or business, to make sense and to give you access where you need it. That's the exciting part about Wi-Fi, and I'll be talking a lot more about that in the coming weeks, not just in podcasts, but in blog posts. In the meantime, that brings us to the end of another podcast. As always, if you have suggestions for a future podcast, click that orange Suggest a Topic button at the top right at blog.solidsignal.com. And, as always, have a great week.